When I see produce in the store, Marcus, and it's nice and clean and not, I wonder, how do they do that, actually?
Right, and that's what made me start my whole questioning 20 years ago. Was I'm working at these big hotels, the Broadmoor, the Greenbrier.
Is that where you started?
Yes.
The Greenbrier.
The Greenbrier, yes. Worked at the Greenbrier in the mid-'90s, worked at the Broadmoor in the early 90s. And you work at these hotels, and the 18-wheeler pulls up every morning unloading pallets and pallets of food, and it gets into the restaurants, and you're like, well, how in the world can we buy filet mignon that looks perfect, pork tenderloins, broccoli? How can you buy all this stuff that looks perfect every single day, and there's an endless supply of this? So it made me start questioning, well, where's our food? How's our food being made, first of all? And then all of a sudden I started becoming shocked with food production. And when you see animal feedlots in Colorado that you can actually smell for 30 miles away.
Is that right?
If the wind's blowing that direction.
I just mentioned a book that I have in the library called The Omnivore's Dilemma.
Yes.
And one of our science teachers said to me, if you ever read this book, you will never buy commercial meat again. And there are people who sell, you can buy half a cow locally. And
you can.
Freeze it. And I know people who do that. And I think that's
Michael Pollan's a great author. He's got some really good work out there.
Michael Pollan?
Yes, Omnivore's Dilemma. He has a couple other books.
Right.
So, and just recently when we were in Italy, I toured 2 Italian prosciutto factories. And, a lot of people picture Italian-made products as pure, natural, from the countryside. And I have to tell you, I would not.
They don't have the regulations, do they, that we have here?
It's a different mindset, and there are different regulations, and a lot of the food is pure natural, and they're not allowed to have GMOs, they're not allowed to spray certain things, and there are different regulations, but when it comes to prosciutto, I have to say I'm not convinced Italian prosciutto is the answer. They're providing on the global market in such a small area of Italy that they're being forced to cut corners, and the pigs are being raised very inhumane. The conditions are deplorable, and again, when you picture Italian prosciutto, because it costs so much money, you're figuring you're buying the best prosciutto out there. Prosciutto being a cured ham.
It's delicious.
And I got to tell you, I haven't bought Italian prosciutto, and now I know why I haven't.
So this is why you take these trips, right? You take people over there. You just mentioned that. I think
we just took 20 people.
20 people
to Italy, northern Italy.
These are just customers who want to know about where your food and your wine comes from.
It was mostly a wine tour. We did a truffle hunt, and we ate a lot of food.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Ate a ton of food.
A lot of wine.
And we visited a dozen wineries in 8 days.
I have a friend who was over there recently, and she said they drank wine all the time, but the alcohol content was not as high. So is that true? Did you find that?
Alcohol content's the same.
Okay. I think it was wishful thinking.
So that's maybe the way they justify drinking all the time. But it's the Italians have such a. I love the culture, and I've been to Italy 4 times now. And I can't wait to go back again.
So you took 20 people.
20 people, 12 wineries, lots of food, and we basically showed people where we buy our wine from, the family-run operations that we buy our wine from.
That's very
cool. We went through, we landed in...
sat down with the owners of
a lot of the owners accompanied us on the tours.
Wow.
Sat down and had dinner with us, like the Bertanias from the famed Bertani estate. The mom and dad joined us for dinner. The son, Giovanni, was on the tour. And it was an amazing experience. Jamie and I have done this route before, or similar to this route in northern Italy. We flew in and out of Milan, went all through Piedmonte, through the Barolo area,
the
northern part, and worked our way all the way across almost to Slovenia. We were right at the Slovenian border.
Wow.
And then we went all the way down to Parma, and then we were all the way back up almost in Switzerland.
Wow.
So we were there 2 weeks. Our guests were there for a full week.
Okay.
So Jamie and I were kind of scouting out where do we go next time, because we're going to do more trips. Everyone had a fantastic time to travel with a chef to wineries and food, especially when the chef does business with the wineries and knows the wineries. It's a treat.
Sounds like a trip of a lifetime. Do you go anywhere else besides Italy?
We're going to do Spain in the fall.
Yeah, okay.
We're planning a Spain trip going in and out of Barcelona.
I've been to Spain. They have wonderful wines there, too.
They do.
And food, the bread over there. Oh, it's so good.
I haven't had I've never been to Spain, so it's going to be a treat for Jamie and I.
Yeah.
So very excited to go to Spain.
It's a wonderful country. People are very warm. We like Americans.
You know, so we'd like to go to a lot of wineries that we know that we do business with, which sometimes is different because it's a business relationship. But for Jamie and I doing business, that's how we do business. It's about relations, working relations with, you know, with our producers, with our distributors, with people that get us the products.
And you can taste it in the food, folks. Yes. It makes a difference.
It makes a difference. And, you know, some of these relationships that we've been working are 10, 15 years old.
Wow.
That we've been working with these people. And so when you go and visit them, they welcome you with open arms.
Well, we're going to have to wrap up here because it's getting close to the end of the hour, believe it or not. We've just been talking, and we have a lot more we could talk about.
We could talk about a lot more, but I want to encourage people to really support Shop Local. There's a lot of food out there. We're talking about Italian prosciutto. There's great hard salamis that are made right here in the Hudson Valley. Carl Farms, a place called Jacouterie, and all these are available through some of the farm markets in the area. Probably Adams has them. I'm not sure who else, but when you go to a grocery store, whether it's Peter's, ask for and support as much local as possible. The farmers are out there, the producers are out there, and
not just food, presents. I try to shop locally this time of year as much as I can.
There's a lot of local stuff out there.
Yeah.
And if you find it, you'll find it. It's there. Just have to look for it.
There is
eating is the one way you can support local every day.
Yes.
3 times a day.
3 times a day. We all have to eat, right?
If there's one ingredient in your meal that's local, 3 times a day you can make a difference.
That's great.
So,
all right, we're gonna have to sign off because it's almost that time for D-Way, and I can't believe how quickly it went, Marcus. I hope you'll come back and talk.
I will be happy to come back.
Great.